Hey travelers, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time since I've been able to record a video, and I have a new microphone set up that I think will work. I've tested it a couple of times now. I am finally well enough to record again, and so that's why I am. So here is the house I built for Tate, and we are going to go ahead and do some furnishing of it today. The first thing I'm going to do is pick out some of the plants that I want to use for landscaping. I'm going to do most of the landscaping off camera, but I want to show you an example of what I'm going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into build and buy mode, and I'm going to get rid of this mailbox and switch it out for a different one. So what we're going to do, and also I've updated my game, and we own all the packs currently that I can own. I don't know whether or not I'm going to purchase the new royalty legacy pack thing. I just don't know how I feel about it. But the first thing we are going to go ahead and do is put in a mailbox, and I want to get one of the ones that's like rainbowy, and I'm pretty sure we have one, yep we do, from Seasons. So this mailbox is from the Seasons pack, and that's where you can find it, and I think that that's the most appropriate mailbox for my friend Tate. So there you go. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and pick out some plants. Now we are in Moonwood Mills, so I do want to stick with pine trees and things like this, but I also really want some flowers and stuff that I think that she'll really, like, actually love. So we're going to pick out this dry pine from Vampires, just as a corner lot feature, a feature on the corner of the lot. And just to give it something, you know, to sort of anchor it on either side. Okay, and then the other trees, I think I'm going to go ahead. We're going to turn Move Objects on, which is Control-Shift-C, and then you just hit bb.moveobjects-on. Okay, and we're only going to use that for the landscaping. I will use it inside the house probably a couple of times, but not more than that. Alright, so then we have the upright cypress and ornamental magnolia. These are base game, by the way. I think the ornamental magnolia looks nice. I think the cypress trees are beautiful too. What if we put a cypress tree like this? We are going to move it away from the fence just a little bit, but I do want them to line up. There we go. And then those couple of cypress trees. And then let's see what other trees we want to grab. I think I want to do these big bushes as incorporating into landscaping. I don't necessarily want them to be this big though, so I think maybe like sizing them down once. And these big bushes are from Island Living. I'm going to size it down one and let's just sort of squeeze it in here. Alright, and here, let's see, dogwood trees, no. Breadfruit, Island Living again. These ones are base game. Here's the evergreen from base game. Let's go ahead and add it here. I do want to surround the property with some trees because that is exactly the kind of person that my best friend happens to be. So we're going to put this, we're not going to put any trees in the backyard because ideally my best friend has cats. And I don't want the cats to climb the trees and get out. Like, in the real world, that's what they do. They're not capable of doing that in Sims 4, but they would be in the real world. So instead, I just kind of want to line the property with some trees. So this is the one from Outdoor Retreat. I'm going to hold Alt and just move it right here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put another one over here. Great. And then I kind of like this tree. This is beautiful. And it will light up the path, which is nice. And I think my best friend would like that. This one is from Businesses and Hobbies. And I think we can use another one on the other side. Yeah. Businesses and Hobbies has one of these, which is very beautiful. And then outside of that, I want to do some more Granite Falls trees. Maybe this big one, like just in the front yard right here. Granite Falls is from Outdoor Retreat. as a pack. There's a ponderosa pine, which is beautiful, but it's not quite the right one for this pack. Japanese beech tree is beautiful. Look at that. That's gorgeous. But again, it's not quite the right style for the world we're in. Although it does look similar. So what if we sized it down a little bit and then we can use it? There we go. We have a maple tree. This one's from Cats and Dogs, which is quite appropriate. This one, if we sized this down, we could probably put it behind the house too. Maybe we could put this one in the backyard, because it's a maple tree from Cats and Dogs, and we did size it down. And we just squeeze it right in here. Sure. And then we have a Norway spruce, which is beautiful. Look at that. And I don't have the tool mod, so I can't put things off the lot, but I can squeeze them as far as I can get them. So I think we'll go ahead and put a couple more Norway spruces, just dot them along. I am sizing them down twice. And then I also want to pick out some flowers and other bushes before we move on with the rest of the structure. So we are going to go ahead and size down this pine tree. And I'm going to size it down one more time, just to put it here, just so that she's surrounded by trees, because she'd like to be. Like, I think that's something that she'd actually really enjoy. Alright, and then the only other tree I want to put in is I kind of want to put in this lantern one. And I kind of want to put it in a funky color rather than in red. Let's see. Ooh, this one. This screams my friend. I am going to size it down once, though, so that I can just kind of put it in the front here. Actually, if I don't size it down and we put it in the backyard, I think that would make more sense. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze it back here. Cool. And this one is from the movie Stuff Pack, which is not the same thing as a regular pack. But I think that one's great for her, I really do. I'm going to go ahead and get a little closer to it so I can move it a little bit. I'm holding Alt, and I'm just moving it into that corner right there. Cool. So those are the trees that we're going to go with. Definitely. I don't think we have anything else. We have some regular pine trees, but I don't see anything from the actual werewolves pack in trees, which is kind of weird that they wouldn't have given us. Now, I can put show hidden objects, and I'll show you that. Control-Shift-Alt, Control-Shift-C, bb.show hidden objects, bb.show live edit objects. And that did give us a few more options. Limited ones, but still a few more options in trees. I still don't see the tree from the werewolf pack, which is kind of odd, so I'm just going to give it a glance through. Yeah, I think these are the evergreens that are the ones that are surrounding us. Yeah, I think. But anyway, we do want to pick out some bushes and other things like that. Yeah, I think there was not any trees that came with the werewolves pack, which is a little strange. Okay, so, and then also I have to add some cats to my friend's household. But in the meantime, for right now, let's go ahead and we're going to get some terrain paint for the walkways. I think I want to do this one, even though it doesn't really match the aesthetic, because I kind of feel like it matches the aesthetic of my friend. So I kind of want to do this one. This one is from Cottage Living, and it's the only swatch it comes in. And that's the only part I don't like, is that it's the only swatch it comes in. It doesn't come in any other swatches, just this weird pink color. See, you can see that. But I do feel like it fits my friend. Like, I feel like it fits her better than some of the other ones. I actually want to redraw that. I'm gonna draw it right through this tree, and then I'll move the tree. And that also outlines for us where we want other landscaping to be. So then I'm going to go ahead and use the exact same pathway right here up to the house. And I'm going to use it again right here. And I'm going to kind of just color that part in so there isn't a weird thing right there. And then we can either drag the path all the way down, or we can just, I think I'm just going to do it from here. I don't think I want all of it terrain painted. It's a really small yard, so I think we just do it this way. Like this. There we go. And now she has pathways throughout all of this area. And we can fill in with landscaping. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys which landscaping I'm going to pick. Right now we're in bushes and shrubs, and that's where we want to be. I do want to have some of these cat ones. I think they make sense. My sister thought they made sense too. And there's also like a puppy one. These are topiaries, and there's also like a bunny. I feel like it makes sense for my friend Tate to have these ones around. And there's a chicken, and there's a cow, and a llama. I think the llama makes sense, and so does the cat and dog, but I don't think anything else really does in terms of bushes. So we'll probably go ahead and leave it there. And then those are, most of those, these are from cats and dogs, and these are from cottage living. And then I do want to also use some flowers. I kind of like this one. This hedge. Yeah, and we can do that on both sides. Maybe we do this one over here where it's flat, rather than around that curve, which is fine. It doesn't have to be completely symmetrical. It is a garden, like it is plants, and it doesn't have to be completely symmetrical. Okay, and then these are like bushes a sim can pee in if you want them to, but I kind of like the hearts of them out front, so we're going to use a couple of those. And then I think I'm going to slide these topiaries over just a little bit over here, and then on this side I think we'll get rid of the chicken and just keep the weird llama and the bunny. I think that makes the most sense in terms of my friend. Give them somewhere to be. And then I do want to put in some lavender and some ground cover. So I'm going to put in this ground cover from Island Living because it's my favorite one. But you feel free to put in whatever you want. Also, if you hold shift, it will give you the same thing over and over. I don't do that all the time because of the fact that if you hold shift, you can put it down, but you can't move it the same way you can when you're using move objects. So then I did that holding shift, but then I have to go in and like move it back so that it's not covering up our whole path. You know, like that. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and color in a little bit more path. Just so we don't have that weird shadow. I'm not enjoying that weird shadow, so I'm going to go ahead and color in just a little bit more path. There we go. And now over here on this side, I can go ahead and pick up this bush and squeeze it a bit further behind there. And I can use pathing to come around here like that. Cool. And now I can show you what other bushes and plants I'm going to pick. So I want to pick this one because I really like this one, and it also takes up a great deal of space, which is nice. So we'll put in some of these. I'm probably going to just pick out all the plants right now. These are base game, and I'm just going to dot them around. My friend likes color, and she's kind of on a Glinda kick, or at least most of the time I feel like she likes both Glinda and Elphaba, so green and pink are good ideas. And then also her favorite kinds of colors are this sort of really bright cerulean blue. Like, I think it's closer to cerulean than it is to, like, turquoise. It's turquoise-y, but it's more like teal-y cerulean. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and put some pink flowers around. And I think that's lovely. Go ahead and do that. I think that works. And then when you gotta figure out these, because I think it'd be good to just put some more path in right here. And maybe find something to put out there, maybe some gardening pots or something. And we're definitely going to do the grass trick again. And again, this Hawaiian grass is from Island Living. We're just going to go ahead and line this with grass, just so it looks a little bit more intentional. Move this up a little. Alright, and we're going to use one of the pieces that have like flat, that are this way, there you go. And I'm going to turn it around just so the jagged edge is like that. And then we can go ahead and fill in with just one more little grass piece, and then we can move this bush on top of it. There we go. Alright, and then I kind of want to fill in also with some lavender. This is lavender, and it is base game. And I just use it to fill in certain places usually. Like right there, for example. And then I also want, I think I want a forest fern, because I think Tate would really like a forest fern. Like, I think it would remind her of her home. And we've got small ones and big ones, and we even have the dry kind. And we also have from Jungle Adventure, like the really green ones. So I think I'm going to pick out a selection of forest ferns as well. Especially given the fact that we all know that that's how plant life works actually. And then these are Granite Falls blossoms, which are also from Outdoor Retreat. And I'm just going to place some around the base of this selection of trees, just as kind of like a nod to a fairy circle. Because my friend is very witchy and very magical most of the time, and I think she'd enjoy that. So we're just going to place some of these down as naturally as possible. And only in this section, and it's going to be the only time we do that. Mostly I like to repeat my plants. And then here's the Granite Falls shrub, and I think that one works too. And it's purple, and she used to like purple, I think. Oh, we're out of funds. Mother load. Yeah, this is going to be a really expensive house if you want to play with it. Painted fern. That's pretty. You know, very vampires, but, like, that's fine with me. And we're just going to put some of these ferns around. Just in the front yard. I don't think we're going to fern the backyard. And then this is the jalapa plant, and this one's from Jungle Adventure. And it's really pretty, and it also works as a really pretty ground cover, which I like. So we're going to place some of these down as well. And this is how I do my landscaping, in case you were wondering. I know I've showed you guys it before, but this is really, like, this is what I do. I just select a bunch of plants that I like, and I repeat them over and over again in trying to be in the most organic way possible, which isn't always possible. I also really love this bush. This is the bulbous bush. I really love this one, too. It takes up a lot of space. It looks very clean and controlled, but also like it could be wild. And this one you can shrink down and it'll look good. I'm going to put some more of these jalapa plants, which again just create ground cover, which I like. I like covering up all the yard space possible to cover up with plants. Then there's this Swiss cheese plant, which is really cool. It's not really appropriate for this build, though. This one's base game, which is pink azalea flowers, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put some of these in. And some of the base game plants don't have other swatches, so you really just do have to, you wind up getting stuck with whatever the base game came with. But in terms of the pink azaleas, I don't mind that at all. I'm going to put a little bit more lavender out here, and I think here. And then this is Pretty Little Daisies, and they only come in yellow. And I'm pretty sure Tate just likes flowers. Like, I think as long as she didn't have to take care of them, she'd want flowers around. Okay, so that's the kind of style we're going with for the landscaping, okay? And that's what I'm going to do for the whole rest of the front yard. And then I did want to tell you which actual flowers I'm picking out. I'm going to use these sunrose bushes because they remind me of my friend. And then also they come in this swatch too, which I think is like very on brand for Tate. So we're going to do that. And then, ooh, look at this. This is a placeholder plant from Jungle Retreat. Look how beautiful that is. I love that. That's gorgeous. I'm going to go ahead and just put this in the back corner to build off of. And I'm also going to make sure that we have some cat things in here in the backyard, because that's what she would want, is cat things. Cat stuff, outdoor cat things. And then also in the backyard, I think I will potentially put out a seating area. But this is how the front yard's going to go. These are the bushes I'm going to use, bushes, trees, etc., and the flowers. And then also there are these flowers too, and I think I'm going to use these as well. Yeah. I think she'd love these. Anything that's like her favorite color is stuff I want to use. And she really does like blue. A specific blue, and we don't necessarily always have this specific of a blue available to us, but we can try. We can try with pops of glue. Like that one was a really big bush, so it's good for filler, for filling in. Definitely. The sun bushes are so pretty. And then these are dole daisies, but they're not actually dole. So yeah, we can build in all kinds of things like this. And when you build in a lot of plants like this, luckily, like, they aren't necessarily real, so they don't need to be kept up with. I mean, they don't need to be watered and tended to, things like that. Ooh, these wildflowers are beautiful. And these wildflowers are base game. And there's also forest flowers from Outdoor Retreat, and I love these. These are beautiful too. Forest flowers from Outdoor Retreat. Let's go ahead and put in some of these. These are really beautiful. And I think they have, yeah, they have different swatches. That's cool. Not all of this stuff does, you know, some of it really doesn't. They even have like this blue swatch, which is beautiful. Okay. I'm almost done showing you this stuff, and then I'm going to go ahead and move on. Myself, I mean, I'm going to move myself on to different. These are canyon wildflowers from Horse Ranch. And then there's some more flowers. There we go. So overgrown, but I think my friend would really like that. I really think she would. be pleased. I'm going to go ahead and put some more of the blue ones in, and then just a couple of these Dole daisies as filler. And that's the kind of thing I'm going to do. Those are the flowers I'm using. This is the front yard. The backyard's going to get filled in on this corner and on this corner, and then the rest of the backyard I think I'll leave for actual backyard activities, like somewhere to sit and a couple of cat things like that. Let's go ahead and finish off the front yard though while I've got you here on camera, so that we can go ahead and just move on from there. I love these though, they're all really great. Filling in, filling in. There's one of these big ones again. Let's go ahead and get that. I think she'd really love this. There's some yellow wildflowers, I guess. Here are the blue ones again. I feel like we could use a yellow sunrose over here just so that we're breaking it up between the blue. And then I also feel like we could use one more of those other ones. Ooh, this one's really pretty. Shrub full of flowers. That one's beautiful. Just one like outlier shrub full of flowers. There you go, there's two. And that's also base game. And then we also have this one from Island Living, which is bougainvillea. I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's definitely a really good cover plant. And so if you use a lot of it, you can really cover a lot of ground. And I like that. And then what you can do is you can take like this kind of a flower. This one is Shagalicious, and you can take it in like red and like pop it up through the other flowers, and then it'll look slightly more cohesive with everything else we've got going on. See? And then it looks wild and also friendly and things like that. I'm going to take a couple more of these Shagalicious ones and just place them kind of randomly. They have a Cosmic Aster, and it comes in blue. Okay, we'll use this one too. Ooh, she'd love that. And then we'll just dot the red one around too. Cosmic Aster right there, and we'll do one of the red ones. Similarly over here. Very cool. I like those. I think she'd like these. Just randomly, just so that the red ones in the other background spot don't look quite so ridiculous. Like, they don't look quite so out of place. Because we have other ones. There we go. Alright, cool. And then we're just going to take the bougainvilleas again. Bougainvillea, I think. And in this case, I'm going to shrink it down way far just to be able to kind of hug it around this tree. Okay. And now we are pretty much done with the landscaping in the front yard, and you've seen everything I'm going to use and what packs they're from. So my only little area to finish is this one back here. So, in this case, we're going to go ahead and take some of these Cosmic Asters, and I'm going to line them up here. And then I'm going to take the bougainvillea again, Which again, I think I'm mispronouncing that, but it's fine. Apple blossom. That's cool. That's pretty. And then I was gonna use these wild gumdrop flowers. So I think maybe I'll group them over here. They are from one of the stuff packs. I can't remember what it's called, but it's from one of the stuff packs. And they're really great, but they're a little bit too loud, if you ask me. For this build, not for my friend, but just for this build. I'm gonna hit save 1 second. Okay, and then we also, Romantic Garden is what these ones are from. These are Romantic Garden flowers. And they're insane, like in terms of they are beautiful, but they are weird looking. And they come in all kinds of patterns and shades. All kinds of blues and all kinds of other things like that. I'm going to hold down shift, not this one. This one. I'm going to hold down shift and just place a lot of these right in here. Just around the base of this tree. And then I'm going to take this bougainvillea, and in this case the purple one, and shrink it down twice and just kind of shove it right here. There we go. And then this one is from the patio kit, like the outside patio kit. I can't remember what it's called exactly though. And then we have this one from it too, which is stunning. Roses. So I'm going to go ahead and just make that small, put it there. And then as a last thing, I'm just going to put in one of these to break that up a bit. And I'm going to put in this. There we go. And that is the front yard landscaping completed. And we're just going to do some landscaping in the back with the same kind of plants, in case you wondered. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the landscaping and the backyard off camera. The only thing I am going to do on camera right now with you guys is I'm going to just put out the pet stuff that we want back here. Because we do want some pet things. I wonder if I should give her chickens. No, I am going to give her some of the butterfly habitats though. And I think that it would be best if it was like on the porch. Yeah. Actually, in the backyard makes sense too. So there's the butterfly habitat, the big one. And then I think we should probably put a couple of pet bowls out here, because you know that she's going to feed all the animals. And then we can also put some cat beds, but probably not this one. These are from the pet stuff pack, which is like my first pet stuff. And this is from Adventure Awaits. And then we've got some random pet beds, so we're just going to put some out. For any cats that wish to hang out. You know, outside, because you can never know. Alright, and then I want to go ahead and see what kind of toys we have. Balls. It's so fluffy. Just put some cat toys out. And we'll put a little cat toy box, just for easy cleanup. And none of the rest of this stuff is cat related. But the pet furniture is. So we're going to go ahead and put some pet furniture outside. I'm going to go ahead and do this one. I think it makes sense to have some pet furniture. And we'll also put a scratching post next to it. And this is from Cats and Dogs as well. Okay, so there's pet furniture. And then I do think that even though she would not grill food normally, I think we'll put a grill out on the porch in case she decided she wanted to, which is not likely. But all the Sims like a good grill. Don't ask me why, I don't know. So what if we did this one? Just in the corner, right here. Just in case. And then over here is where I think I'm going to put a table. But I think I'm going to go ahead and widen the path a little bit and put it in like this area. And by a table, I mean I'm going to put one with a umbrella. So we'll go ahead and do it this way like that. Give enough path for a table. And then I'll do some landscaping around it. So let's go ahead and find a table. An outdoor one with an umbrella. We have a selection of them, so we'll see whichever one I think. I think this one. And we'll get some chairs. I think these ones. And then that's an outdoor table spot. And then over here, I think, yes, we want more landscaping, but I also think we want something of an outdoor, some kind of outdoor skill. I'm definitely going to put a telescope, and this one is from Werewolves. So let's go ahead and like put a telescope right here. Like that. Something to do outside. And then I also want some gardening boxes, specifically for my friend to garden. I don't know if she actually would like to garden, but if she did want to, I would want her to be able to, so. This one's from Outdoor Retreat. And maybe some gardening pots for like trees, like fruit trees. There, so there's a gardening space as well. And then there's just, you know, lawn. And I'm going to do some landscaping around the areas as well. Just some landscaping. I think I'll display one more of these. Because if she could have a butterfly habitat, she would. Like, straight up would. Okay, so there we go. There's some outdoor stuff. We do the rest of the landscaping off camera though, okay? And we will keep it right here for now. Let's go ahead and hang some lights, or put up some lighting for the front porch and the back porch. Wall lights is what I'm going to go with. I like this one. This is from one of the kits, and I can't remember which kit it's from, so let's go ahead and check that out, because they all tell you. Grange Mudroom is what that one's called. And I like this one. I think this one's really cool. So, we do want to turn objects off, though. We've got move objects on, and we do want to turn it off. I'm going to turn it off as soon as I'm done placing these lamps. And then the only other thing I do want to do is I want to come in and put some lights down along the path, because that's really important. And not just around the path, but near the stairs. One of the things that Sims doesn't really do well is accommodate for disability. And it's one of the things that I wish Sims would address. Like, I know it's because it's like fantastical world and you don't really live in it, etc. But I feel like one of the things they don't really do well is accommodate for disability. So in this house specifically, I'd much rather have lighting where lighting would be needed in real life. So we're going to light up the stairs on all sides. And I'm just using this basic light from base game because it doesn't really matter what these ones look like as long as they provide light. And then over here, I'm going to go ahead and I think maybe place some candles around. And I will incorporate them into the landscaping. Cool. And then, like I said, I want light around the stairs, so let's make sure that we've covered that. I think we've covered it on all these sides over here. Yeah, we have. And then I think we'll go ahead on this side too and put some lights by the gate. And you can bury lights in the landscaping too, which is kind of interesting. Like, for example, you can put these little lights in around the landscaping. And you can sync other ones in too, like they know what they're doing with move objects. See? And then they just become part of the design, basically. And those are both base game. And then this one is from Discover University. I think I'm going to put it back here with this tree. And then I think I will put another one over here. And then we can go ahead and put this light right there. And that light right there. And I think that's enough light. Outside, I mean. I'm going to put some more lights inside the trees and stuff. Or I mean the landscaping though. Like this light is from the garden kit and it's, you know, one of these things that lights up and spins. Very cool. These are like gravestones. These are like a forest chandelier. Like, you know, very cool things, really. This one is from Cottage Living and it has flowers on it. This one's from Journey to Batu. So is this one. Very cool looking. You know, random but cool. I'm going to put one more light right here. And I'm also going to sync some candles around the fairy circle. Now, things can catch on fire in Sims 4, but like, it's really kind of like how you play the game. And it should be fine. Alright, so there's outdoor lighting too. I'm going to finish the landscaping in the backyard off camera. We've done both porches, except for the fact that I do want to put some seating out here. Comfort. Outdoor furniture. I want to go ahead and put some seating out here. I think that makes sense. I'm going to move that over a little bit actually. And I think I will also put a table and a rocking chair. I think that is good in terms of, yeah, I think I'll put a rocking chair. I think she'd like a rocking chair to knit from, maybe. I mean, I actually don't, not in real life, I don't. In real life, I don't think so, but Alright, and let's just put a couple of little side tables. We will see if we have any, yeah. Here's a table, and then let's go ahead and put this stump, which is also a table. And maybe we can put a bench out. This one's from Lovestruck. Maybe an outside spot for like crafting or something. And then we'll put a light on it too, but like a table lamp. Maybe this acorn one for fun. And then over here, this is from Life or Death. And this is from Enchanted by Nature. And then this one's from the Paranormal Stuff Kit, so maybe we'll put it out here. Or we won't, and we can put like a pitcher. A thing for drinking stuff. We have a lot of them. We have hot cocoa, Lux, sugarcane juice, tea. We have summer drinks. This is the one I think would be most appropriate, the summer drink one. She likes lemonade. Anyway, so, and then the only other detail on the porch that I want is a rug. So, let's go into decorations and pick out a front door rug. I think I like this one. This one is from the Nifty Knitting Kit, and you can knit them yourself. There we go. And then I think maybe we'll have another rug underneath the couch that's on the porch. Some of the swatches you have to go into them, by the way, to see like the different things they let you have. Like, for example, this giant unicorn, which is great. And then we've got some leaves. Which I believe these are from Enchanted by Nature, yeah. And you can kind of customize your own rug, kind of, by just placing a bunch of these different swatches down. Ta-da! Bunches of rugs. Alright, somewhere to sit and do stuff outside. Alright, so for today, we're actually going to end this video here, and in the next video, I will show you the completed backyard with the landscaping, and we will start in on the house. It does mean that this series will probably be 3 videos. Whoops, that was my mouse dropping on the floor. Sorry about that. It does mean that building Tate's house will probably be 3 videos instead of 2. There's already one up about my building the house, and it was a speed build because I didn't have access to my camera. But this one is definitely going to be the first one up after that, and we'll probably have one for the bottom floor and one for the top floor as well. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video, travelers. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for sticking around. If you liked this build so far, please go ahead and leave me a like and a comment and share the video with your friends, family, and followers. And also, additionally to that, please make sure that if you are subscribed, that you are engaging with my channel. Even just hitting the like button is engagement, guys. It is engagement for the engagement gods, and I would really like to have some channel engagement, okay? Just shoving another plant back here so that it's not like empty back there. Ooh, maybe the lavender will shove in right there. Gonna downsize it just one. There we go. Cool. And then also, I do try to make sure that if I can see plants through the walls, that I then move them. Like this, I can see this through the wall, but it's the fence. So there's nothing I can do about that, but I could do something about the plant that came through the wall, you know? And I'll check over and around as I go. But I'm going to finish landscaping in the backyard off camera now that you've seen the kind of landscaping I'm going to do. And then the next video, we'll try to furnish the entire bottom floor. We'll see how far we can get. Thanks for watching, travelers. I've had a great time with you today. This video will hopefully be up Tuesday. We'll see. Alright, bye travelers. You have a great day wherever you're at in yours.